Wow. What a game that was. I mean, Supernova, they were trying to mess up our Taco Tuesday bingo square, but Taco Gaming came through on their special day, and RMC and Shogo, I just gotta say, I don't think you can fight the Taco Tuesday buff. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. I don't think Supernova, it may have looked close, but we all know it's Tuesday, so it wasn't even close. Yeah, I definitely think Supernova played to their advantage super well, and it was a really, really fun game to watch.
And I will say, I was worried for a second there because, you know, I seemingly cursed AoE randoms earlier today. So for the first 20 minutes, I was like, wait, surely not,
So
right?
The
Can it
RMC
be
curse
Taco Tuesdays?
is not as strong as the Taco Tuesday buff, is what I'm hearing. Fortunately
Thankfully,
for our
yes.
predictions. We could see the bingo card. We're getting so close to bingo. I think we had 4 X's on the bottom there. We got to get it. Someone has got to pull through for us in this last game and give us bingo. Otherwise, I'm going to be extremely sad. But let's look at this game. And I think the best place to start always is, of course, the draft. A lot of things happened in this draft. I know we all had thoughts about the draft. But before I turn it over to you, Shogo, I think we should make this into sort of like a, you know, it's Taco Tuesday. We've got to make it into some sort of activity. In a taco, you've got like the 5 essential ingredients. You got the tortilla or the shell, whatever you may have. You've got your meat, your cheese, your lettuce, your like tomato or salsa. That's kind of like your main 5 taco ingredients. And the question I have for you, Shogo, is in this draft, did Taco Gaming get their 5 essential taco ingredients, or maybe did it make the game more difficult than it needed to be?
I don't think the only problem I have with this draft is really the Veigar, because it just pokes a hole through their comp, and it's such a big weakness to have a mid laner that can't really answer the pressure that Galio has. And we saw that in the first fight, that really set the tone for the rest of the game. Just the Veigar could not match Galio's power with the Predator start, and they just put Kindred so far behind with that. So I think something with a little more pressure, something that could answer the push that Galio has level 2, would be better and would make scaling easier for Taco Gaming.
So maybe you could say that like mid lane is like the shell or the tortilla of the taco, the coating that you put around it. The game kind of built on that mid lane in so many ways.
Yeah,
and maybe
so I think the tortilla had some holes in it, probably.
Right, yeah, holes in the tortilla. Maybe we prefer shells here on the what do you guys get on your tacos? Shells, tortillas? I gotta know.
Both are good for me, as long as they
Both?
don't have
Okay.
holes.
Come on, Shogo. I need you to pick a side. You got to do this for me.
Okay, let's do
holes
shells.
are bad. Shells.
Let's
all
do
right.
shells,
What about you,
yeah.
RMC?
I feel like if I answer this, I'm kicked off the desk. With my job at the line, there's not a lot of tacos in Canada.
Oh, I mean, I guess I'm not entirely surprised by that, but yet I'm still so disappointed. I'm a tortilla guy myself, so yeah, holy tortillas probably not ideal. And as we saw, holes opened up for Taco Gaming, and Shogo, I think you're the one that's going to break this down in our first replay. The early game went horribly wrong for Taco Gaming and very, very right for Supernova.
Right, so I think Supernova played to their strength so well here, and I want to look at 2 things in specific. First one is Ariandel bought so much time. If we look at the actor, we can see he's still farming, and he's just starting to move now. So there's like a solid 20 seconds where Ariandel is just 1v2 here, creating so much pressure from the side of Taco Gaming, and he just makes the life of Siriwidi and Ayakura here really miserable. And he ends up taking this blue buff and flashing away. And I think one important thing to note here is that Veigar doesn't have Cage. So Veigar Ayakura opted into the Comet level 2, and I think that's a little missed opportunity for to have some more impact in the level 2 fight.
Right, and that play already went so south for the side of Taco Gaming, but for Ariandel to also get the blue buff, that's so huge. But RMC follow up for that?
Yeah, and I was going to highlight exactly that. The fact that they got both the blue buffs right away, it really set Siriwidi behind immensely. And we saw that for the first 10 minutes. I believe, there's a topside dive where Actor was level 7 and City was level 5, did not have access to Lamb's Respite, and that really came to bite them. And huge props to Supernova despite the loss, because the first 20 minutes of the game, they took that lead and they kept snowballing it. By 15 minutes, they had an 8K gold lead there. And that was why I was scared. I was like, okay, can you come back from an 8K gold lead against a team who seemingly knows how to push the speed, the pace of the game so quickly?
Yeah, and I mean, as you said, Supernova, they had that big gold lead, but unfortunately, it did come crashing down, as we can see in our second replay here. Taco Gaming, they won out in the team fights, RMC.
Yeah, and for all the worries that the draft from Taco Gaming gave us, you cannot fault them from scaling. And once they hit that critical point, once their scaling comes online, it just takes one team fight. And this was the team fight here that kind of sealed the deal. At this point, when Taco won this fight, you knew that they would start winning pretty much every fight from here on out here. That core of, the Kindred Lamb's Respite with that Lulu's Wild Growth there, it just makes it so difficult to cut down any members. And then you add to that City Witty's hyper tank build with the Randuins and Frozen Heart on top of that, and suddenly you have a low damage composition running into hyper tanks with additional shields, buffs, and all that. There's just no way you win comprehensive 5v5 fights after that.
Of course. Well, we've got about a minute left. Let's look forward to the next game before we send it away. Sugar, I'm going to turn to you. What does Supernova need to do differently to be able to pull ahead and not give up that gold lead that they had?
So I think they had the right game plan in mind, and they executed it really beautifully for the first part of the game. The level 2 fight was not the only time we saw them enter the enemy jungle and take everything by force. So I would like to see them run it back with a similar playstyle, and this time be really careful with their lead and not give anything back.
All right, well, let's see if they cannot give anything back. Of course, Taco Gaming, they've got the Taco Tuesday buff. It will certainly be a tall order, but maybe, just maybe, Supernova can make their presence felt and send us to a game 3. We're going to toss it over to Grapes and Rude Dude one more time, and hopefully for not the last time. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, Hawk. I would say for your predictions, this might be good for you to see us for the last time if you want the Taco Gaming 2-0, but I'm with you here. We want some competitive League of Legends matches. We definitely got one in the last game, Rude. And for Supernova, head into this draft for game 2, when you are, the team that just lost game 1, normally you want to try to, shake things up a little bit, but this time around, with the way that the game ended up unfolding, I don't know, maybe you kind of keep things similar.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's a bit of a opportunity here for Supernova. I think that the biggest adaptation I expect, for the most part, I imagine that if Supernova don't change anything, that Taco Gaming can really rinse and repeat their composition. But what I expect from Taco is their third ban to change. They took out the Gwen when the Jax was banned. I think that we got to see it was setting up for the Camille instead. If they set up for that, if they go for the Camille in lock there, or in the ban slot there, I don't know how the top lane plays out if they go for the Gwen, but I think that Gwen Galio isn't as tried and true. Yes, it can certainly have some impact, but it's not the point-click ease of execution that Supernova were able to get in game number 1.
And in this meta, if you pick that Galio blind, like Supernova did, they have such heavy priority around things like the Camille Galio, the heavy engage. And so taking away one of those pieces, at least with maybe a Camille ban, setting up for maybe something like that Gwen, would be really, really important if you are Taco Gaming, maybe trying to deny a little bit of the snowball that started to roll almost out of control in that first game. But as we said, the scaling really worked well for Taco Gaming. And this is a team that, as we said, dominated a lot of their early games, but we see here that they have the potential, even if they are put far behind, to come back and play some of these later fights really well as well.
And that's really exciting that this team has already shown so much versatility for being able to play like that. I think that it's not unfounded. It wasn't particularly unexpected. This is a team that has got a lot of previous academy talent, right? Gorica plus Eclipse both have played in academy previously. We've got Rovex, who's been becoming more of a mainstay in amateur at this point, just looking to prove their point, and as well for City Witty and Ayukura. Now they're trying to help themselves showcase what talent they can bring to the fold, and already having, like you say, all of their really short games for the open qualifiers to now come in and have one of the longest games that we've had from a group stage game, battling back from adversity. This is exactly the type of difference and adaptability that you want to see from a team.
Yeah, Ayakura on the Veigar doing very, very well, one-shotting crucial targets using the Event Horizon to get a whole lot of zone control as well. She was also actually on that no-name team that Geiger was on that we were discussing earlier, on the AoE randoms. And City Witty, of course, it seems like this team really definitively revolves around him and the way that this jungle matchup ends up working out. Because, you know, even in City Witty's last team on Ginger Turmeric, it was a very similar deal where there was a lot of experienced players, but it was still City Witty being the main carry and taking over a lot of games.
And in this game specifically that we've just seen, game number 1 rather, it was him diversifying a build path, right? There's not very many times that you'll see Kindred build Frozen Heart Randuins and you know, it'd be the correct items, right? Because this game, or this time round, it so happened to be, right? You've got that Kraken Slayer for the initial damage, but then when you've got a Lulu backing you up when you build those 2 armor items specifically up against the composition that Supernova had drafted, it just played out so beautifully. That mindset, that knowledge of not just going for cookie cutter AD carry builds, even though you're playing a marksman in the jungle, the ability to take these other items and say this is best in slot for the game and build them instead.
Yeah, and that's another thing. We were talking about how, you know, game knowledge and just being very cognizant of situations is really important at this level of play, and City Witty showing just that, knowing that, you know, the Galio damage will fall off. It is almost all physical damage on this team, and learning to kind of build off of that and be versatile with the itemizations. And as we head into the draft for game number 2, it is crucial to note Supernova remaining on blue side this time around. So it looks like they are still prioritizing the early picks, not really focusing as much on counters. It seems like they have a pretty standard formula that they want to follow.
And that may well play into Taco Gaming, because whilst Eclipse wasn't particularly the star of the show, that Akali was certainly something that gave them a little bit of leverage through the mid game when they were really at their worst. It was always Eclipse being a bit of a nuisance that was constantly causing headaches for Supernova, not necessarily you know, causing too many punctures, but being that little fly that was really annoying and needed to get swatted away and dealt with. So yeah, having that R5 for Eclipse for Ayukura potentially is a good option.
See if they end up focusing that again, as you said, just allowing for more counter picks and advantageous matchups to be opened up for Taco Gaming, even if it's not necessarily winning in lane, but just, you know, getting to a state where you can stay even until it impacts later on, which is what we saw in that first game. Senna and Karma, 2 bans that remain from that first matchup, and again, the crucial thing comes down to the top lane bans. Do Supernova still want to prioritize this Camille Galio?
Questions all needing to be answered. The Gangplank ban away makes a lot of sense. Eclipse was very adept at this, and I expect that to be a ban against Taco for maybe the majority of the of this qualifier, or at least until Gangplank receives some sort of nerfs potentially going into the next one. It's a pretty strong champion. Talia going to be probably the next one on the table, and I think that we maybe broke the Wukong presence. I can't remember if it was actually the last ban from Supernova, but it was certainly not in our last game, and to a bit of a surprise as well.
Yeah, not picked or banned. I think one of the first times that we've seen that here on the Academy stream. It was on like the bingo board yesterday, but I believe we already checked that one off. So I don't know if you could uncheck it or you have to uncheck it, because it was just kind of on a one-day basis. I'll let the desk kind of decide upon that one. It is still the Jax ban takeaway for Supernova, and this is the ban that you were talking about, Rude.
Yeah, so this third ban I was expecting to change. They going for the Gwen, right? So immediately snap that up. They take that for Meslo, and you know, now Eclipse has got to say, well, do I have an answer for this? Potentially also, you know, not. It's not going to be the Camille in the top lane, which they Supernova had previously banned away the likes of the Fiora to try and answer with, but Taco Gaming now, when knowing that they're leaving the Gwen open, they must have an answer.
They're going to take the Graves. They're going to go and put that into the hands of City Witty. Now, Kindred still is up. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Although I know that Actor has a lot of champions in his back pocket that he could be willing to bring out. I also, we haven't seen situations where Gwen has been flexed to jungle too often before, but with this Graves, it's a pick that really likes to stack armor here with the E, the quick draw, building up that sort of resistances. Picking a magic damage champion into that with the Gwen definitely could be an avenue of possibility.
So jungle support picked up versus the top lane for Supernova. They should elect to just go for a match here. You'd imagine they can likely just go for this Kindred, right? Actor throws it down and says, hey, you know what? We'll swap our junglers and see who can come out on top this time round. Now the question is, does Supernova want to opt into this Galio pickup once again? Or do they want to change it? And it's just going to be the Galio. So really prioritizing this pick for Ariandel, and hopefully going to be allowing once again another snowball through the early game.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a pick that Ariandel really likes. We've seen him blind pick it twice now, which is not something you often see in this meta. Can get countered by, something that outranges, like the Veigar that Ayukura ended up selecting, or maybe a physical damage threat. Iker also playing the Assassins as well, but it would be the Veigar once again. Same matchup in the mid lane, same matchup in the jungle. This time the other side is swapped.
Okay, so importantly going into this second phase, Supernova do have some late game aspects of this composition. Kindred plus Gwen are already way better in the late game than you looking at from a Camille plus a Graves. So you do have those options to open to you there, and the longer range from Actor on the Kindred certainly going to help them out. Once again, Taco, they've got the bot lane to get rid of, so we saw last game it be the Jhin plus the Caitlyn. I expect that they potentially get rid of the same two, and that Varus just sort of stays open for Tomato.
There's a pick that I was really surprised to see go through completely in the draft in that last game, and that is Ezreal. I think Gorka and Tomato have really high priority around this champion. It kind of fits the playstyle that they want to utilize for their team. And it just kind of went through the draft phase. They allowed Gorka to get the Vayne, which is a bit of a deviation, to scale a little bit better, and Tomato on the Varus for some more late game poke. So we'll see if Taco Gaming stay with their standard marksman bans or if they'll try to shake things up this time around.
I think that going for the Ezreal is a little scary if you are Taco, because if you are Supernova, rather, it opens up the Vayne in a fairly easy matchup. Ezreal not the biggest lane bully, and when you pick the Vayne, or when you pick the Ezreal, well, there we go. When you pick the Ezreal, it sets up for a Vayne to get into the late game fairly easily, but if you get rid of the Vayne, there's nothing to stop you from trying to take an Ezreal. Now, Taco Gaming, like we say, still have these trifecta of hyper carries that have really shot to prevalence in Kog'Maw plus Twitch, if Gorica wants to opt into one of those instead. And instead, they've got that top lane matchup to try and pick for into the Gwen. They've gone for the Jace, and they're leaving that ADC till the blind pick to see if it's going to be playable as a bot lane.
I know this is a matchup that at MSI, a lot of people were criticizing picking Jace into Gwen all the time, but it does do pretty well if you're able to get the right situations here. But this is not something that I was expecting from Supernova. They are doubling down on the dive here with the Kai'Sa Nautilus in the bot lane.
And this just sets up for the likes of a Kog'Maw or Twitch for me, honestly. Yes, Nautilus is never, or is pretty good versus those immobile carries, but you've got a Lulu to support. You've got this hyper carry role that you need to be filled. You have a lot of sort of burst damage, I suppose, coming out from the Jace, from the Veigar. Consistent DPS looking to be filled up in, and if this is what Taco Gaming lock in, seems to fit the bill, but that's what I wanted. Kog'Maw fits this brief beautifully. Get it in, and you have a fairly easy lane phase. Kai'Sa Nautilus is very good, but Kai'Sa typically as an ADC doesn't have the best of lanes.
Gorica on the Kog'Maw Lulu with Rovex here.
Good.
This is very exciting. I feel like a lot of the time throughout the open qualifier, we saw Gorica kind of take a bit of a backseat, was trying to just farm up on champions like the Ezreal that was previously hovered. But this time does seem a little bit more bot focused. I believe Eclipse should just kind of win out here on the 1v1 against Meslo if they are just kind of left on this island. And so far, Taco Gaming, getting Gorica ahead definitely is a pretty big win condition for them.
It stands to reason, right? The sort of, I suppose, not an issue necessarily with this Taco Gaming composition, but something to be mindful of is that they've got 4 carries. And whenever you've got that, it means that your resources can be spread quite thin amongst the map. Yes, we're hoping that Eclipse can win out solo in that 1v1. From the Supernova squad is a tendency rather to group up Ariandel and Actor and just gank a lane. Be it bot lane, be it top lane, they're never really too bothered about trying to take down the mid lane necessarily, unless it's a sitting duck. But Jace is a champion that can very easily get dove and really doesn't benefit from being set behind early on, believe it or not.
Overall, a very similar story as to what we were expecting here from these two teams. The sides have remained the same. A lot of the champions also staying on the Rift. It's a couple of crucial differences that might give Supernova that edge, or could lead Taco Gaming to that 2-0.
If they've read them twice in a row, I'm going to be very impressed. Taco Gaming, they've left this tri-brush clear, potentially expecting the invade on top side this time round. Now, they do need to be careful. This Supernova squad hasn't stopped.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sidiou's gonna go for the base. Ariandel does get spotted out. They will have the ward in here. I don't know if any sweepers will be able to deny that one from being taken down. Eclipse spots out the rest of the team with a bit of a shock blast, and it looks like no casualties will be given over.
and immediately Rovex down into the bot side jungle of Supernova. Puts one ward down, likely going to use Gorica to do the second, or they may go for an invade in their own right now. Remember, Supernova are going to be face checking into darkness for this, and there's a very real possibility that Taco Gaming just find a lead right here.
Okay, here we go. It's 4v3 right now. Pluto is the first to face check. Event Horizon is going to get flashed away from. Tomato also in a bit of danger here. Citywitty haven't started up the camps just yet, but it is all Taco Gaming in the bot side jungle.
I think this is very worth it for Taco. They level Event Horizon on Ayukura, which is sacrificing her laning phase, but it's in exchange for 2 summoner spells, and now they're going back in.
They're going to try to deny it, try to buy as much time as possible, maybe for Actor to arrive. Question is, will they be able to? Tomato and Pluto are very low. Citywitty raining in auto attacks. Pluto has no flash. And it doesn't look like their Supernova bot lane can do anything to defend, but we have to take a look. Here comes Actor, Tomato, running to try and join forces with his jungler, and now the Kindred has arrived. Citywitty will follow the flash of Tomato, and Gorka is in the fight as well. Actor is taken very low, but here comes Ariandel, a 3-man taunt. First blood again for Supernova, and it's a double kill onto the Galio. Ayakura has no damage without any abilities. The Kog'maw passive takes down 2, and all of a sudden, Taco Gaming turned the fight right back around. Another auto attack will secure the kill onto Ariandel, and Pluto has no escape. Somehow Taco Gaming evened that fight up.
All as planned for Gorica, using maximum of Kog'Maw's kit. Gets a double kill from the Acathian surprise, and comes back out of laning phase with 2 daggers. Somehow, Ariandel's got tier 2 boots. So this is again, both of the game plans of both of the teams stacking up. Supernova want to make plays with this mid-jungle duo. Tier 2 boots with Predator for Ariandel is exactly what you need to facilitate that. Taco Gaming, they want Gorica to carry them in the late game. 2 kills in the level 1, exactly what you want.
Makes that early. It makes that late game come much earlier. Let's take another look at this. Big, courage coming out from Pluto and Tomato to even go for this sort of engage.
That pathing was, incredibly verbose from them. I was kind of surprised that they went for that, and I thought that they would get punished. Didn't in the end. Turns out that the Lulu Kog'Maw CC at level 1 not the biggest, and this is a really important time to mention that red buff versus blue buff in a combat like this is very red buff oriented. Tomato with a really good flash to save himself, and Gorica not quite able to close the gap. Means Tomato just gets away, and then Ariandel, 3-man taunt, it's beautiful, it's exactly what was needed. And then the second Gorica goes down, I forgot this was going to be a thing, and he's just sat, waiting, poised, boom.
They're all
the double
trapped
kill.
in the cage. They couldn't.
It was hilarious. The synergy that we were hoping for, Kog'Maw Veigar, sign it up, it's the next bot lane duo.
next bot lane duo. Hey, Rovex played mid before. He can definitely whip that
True.
one out. Let's take a look at the gold. It is just Ariandel and Gorica, the ones with the kills in the lead of the gold. Gorica is in a Cathian, but that was very surprising. Yes. Gorica. I was not expecting. I feel like it's been so long since I've seen Kog'Maw passive being used effectively.
Usefully.
And that was the most effective I think you could possibly get out of that ability.
I challenge anybody across any stream now to post a clip with a better use of Kog'Maw passive. Hashtag we are unified. Put it on Twitter.
Yeah. Tweet at us. Prove us wrong. Eclipse taking up pretty low here, and the aggression doesn't stop here for Supernova. They're still 4 strong in the bottom lane, and they will secure the Gromp as well. Taunt will land in onto Citywitty, and the damage is coming through. Actor will get taken down first, but the jungler will surely follow unless Citywitty survives. Still so much shielding with the red buff and the potions ticking all at once. Tomato will take down Gorica again, but she's got to run away. There's a surprise, but it won't even matter. Ayakura securing the kill, and now Pluto has to run away. Taco Gaming punishing Supernova's aggression.
Scumbag Ayukura, honestly, I was really hoping that the only kills that Gorica would have got would have been from his passive this game, and so far that's still true, but it could have been more. It could have been more true with an extra kill there, but stacks onto Veigar, never a bad thing, and they do come away with a beneficial fight in all of that. Starts with Acto and Ariandel grouping up and roaming. Surprise, surprise, Supernova making the play in the bot side jungle. And somehow Citywitty living as well. It's the smite secured by the Taco Gaming jungler, and then he gets ignited. He's on 5 HP. He's just slightly sustaining. Potions plus fleet footwork are what seal the deal and keep the jungler alive. A crucial passive proc from Tomato. Doesn't actually get that kill, but would have been enough to take the kill after the fact. And then just dashing over the wall. Really well played collapse from Taco Gaming, and they come out on top. And like we said in the draft, this isn't as imperative that Supernova get those early leads this game because they do have some scaling aspects, but Kai'Sa when behind is really difficult to play out.
It's also, 2, 2, and 3, or 2 kills, 3 assists, I guess, on Gorica, on the Kog'Maw, on the late game champion right now, Rude, and doesn't have
a lot of gold.
Yeah, a lot of gold. Not too, far ahead right now in terms of being able to just win out on the 2v2 on their own, but Kog'Lulu will get a lot more scary, a lot quicker based off of the already accelerated early game that they've had.
Another question is, where do Taco try to lay their priority right now? Is it shadowing this bot lane at all costs? Is it, making sure that Ayukura can move around the map to try and match Ariandel? We're going to have to wait and see because there's a play looking to be made bot lane. This wave is pushing out Taco Gaming. Need to be careful because there's Actor here. Ariandel's moving.
There's the flash coming out from Pluto. Nicely done. Dredgeline will connect as well. Ariandel joining the fight here with the Predator, and that is a very clean kill onto the Kog'Maw. Win condition stalled for just a little bit longer.
Heartbreaking. Gorica's flash is up now. It just ticked over. Would have been able to get away, but capitalizing on that down timer and Supernova really playing to their, to that timer specifically, knowing pretty much when it comes up.
They're okay.
Just wanted to make sure that wave got shoved in. It certainly makes sense. You never want to just randomly let a wave get frozen for no good reason. And Eclipse getting zoned out a little.
Meslo does have that needlework. Has not used it just yet. Finally will do it, popping the ghost as well. I don't know if there's enough range here to try to finish off the deal. The snip stip will get flashed away from. Nice summoner spell burned away.
Yeah, a lot of rogue skill shots there. Meslo misses out on R1 and R2. Granted, the R3 plus Q got flashed away from, so kudos for that. But Eclipse as well, missing out on that shock blast just at point blank range. So potential kills going either way, neither actually being picked up. What is going to be secured though is that dragon for Taco Gaming. Sidiwidi putting a bit of an end to the Supernova Drake takes and starting up their own stack to begin.
After picking up a mark in the top side as this dive might come
Tomato.
through. Tomato might be in a bit of trouble here. Pluto has, arrived in time, so it looks like no dive will happen. Dives become really hard with the durability update as well because the towers, because the players just stay alive for longer, which means you tank even more tower shots. So it looks like Gorica and Rovex don't want to, risk that just yet. Continue to, just stay at the advantageous spot that they're in.
Yeah, and there's also this with the hyper carries that we have, particularly with Gorica down in the bot lane. There's a new build, obviously, that ADCs are going for. Tends to be fairly non-mythic oriented, a bit akin to Ezreal from Splits Gone By, but you go for Rageblade at one point and Runans as well, and you kind of skip out on your mythic. You get a Runans and a Titanic Hydra as well, using durability. I've seen actually one of the Supernova staff members opt into the Frostfire Gauntlet Kog'Maw tech a couple of times. I don't know that that's going to be the case this time, but I have seen it be done.
It looks like it's a Bork first here for Gorica. Has an cloth armor in tow as well, which means that he will likely go for the plated steel caps, which again provide pretty good value in this game with the likes of Actor and Tomato. But for now, it looks like no Rageblade just yet. Maybe not the same build that we saw earlier yesterday with the Kog'Maw. Meslo and Eclipse once again going at it. The ultimate is once again unlocked for Meslo, but he's just not able to get anything done just yet without any assistance. Here comes Actor, does a big chunk of damage. The needlework goes wide, but it does not matter. The Kendra secures the kill.
Yeah, no flash from the previous engagement, and this time Supernova were able to capitalize on a slightly overextended member, and Taco Gaming, they left Eclipse really to his own devices so far this game. They were hoping to see this Jace win out in the top lane, and unfortunately that has not really been the case. Plated steel caps rush for Meslo, set him up nicely to be able to duel this Jace at pretty much any given opportunity. Rift Herald goes down. It's going to be an extra couple plates over into Act's pockets, and
no, they get it. There's no way. I think you need this smite in order to try to get the Rift Herald before it ends up getting the charge. And if we do have a bit of time here, I want to shout out. No, I'm gonna wait for this point right now. We see another roam coming down towards the bot lane. Ariandel, well, thinking about it. Hook goes wide. Pluto nearly able to start the engage.
What were you gonna say, Grapes?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We see Ariandel making his way back. Doesn't look like anything's gonna happen. Okay. Supernova, they fight a lot. So let's shout out Meslo really quick while we have the time. Meslo up pretty heavily against Eclipse, this Academy top laner. despite, you know, getting counterpicked into. And this is Meslo here from Granby University. Played mid lane throughout Collegiate here, role swapping back to top side for this Proving Ground split. And showing that, you know, the mid lane hands, they still connect up in the top side. Being a very strong win condition for Supernova throughout the series. Okay, I'm done. No fights happened. We got it.
We did it. We won. Well done. Maybe just in time, honestly, because Eclipse is sat in a brush, sort of sat with beady eyes looking at Meslo, who clears out this wave, but doesn't see mid nor jungle on the map.
There.
Don't stay. Don't stay.
He's
You
hit.
can't show. There are 3 people top lane. They all don't know.
Chance to the back again. He's gonna go for it.
Ah, no!
Clears out the wave. Meslo
No!
will get knocked right back in. Will it be the collapse? We gotta watch the other side of the map though, as it looks like Citywitty will try to go for a dive in response in the bottom lane. Pluto does have the depth charge. We'll try to lock down the Graves to start things off. Gorka and Rovex also under the tower. Nice 3-man knockup coming out from Pluto, but the damage is just too much. The Living Artillery takes down one, and that is the autos taking down another. Gorka with the double kill, and what can Meslo do here in the 1v3? Will pop that needlework, but just gets bursted down. The Conqueror is popped. Gorka's gonna flash forward. Meslo survives. Gwen is still immune. Gwen gets the kill. Meslo goes down. Will it be another passive kill though? The damage is just enough, and that is Gorka picking up kill number 5.
He's still positive. Icathian Surprise 3.
Gwen is not
normal,
immune to that.
alive, Kog'Maw is 2. Axel
nice.
almost died in the mid lane.
Oh,
okay.
Iacur nearly took her down. And a nice flash out from Actor. Oh my goodness. Good thing I made the point earlier there, because it would have been off the rails.
Yeah, I'm still smitten with the fact that Gorka has more kills with his passive than he does while being alive, and I'm gonna keep track of that the entire time. That's just Lulu using the E on your Kog'Maw and then getting away with a lot of back-ended damage from one single auto attack. Meslo comes in a little too late. I think that he wanted the gold on the turret that was dying on the top side. And there's a secret to Kog'Maw passive as well. If you just right-click on the champion, it will always path you to them. So you can, like, turn even though you can't do anything about it. I think there was, like, a little stutter there from Gorka where he was, like, trying to react to where they were going. Still got the kill, but if you just click on the champion, you're always going to follow them and be on top as possible.
Now has that Blade of the Ruined King completed, which will allow for Taco Gaming to take this second dragon. An extra movement speed here for their team. Now 2-0 in the Drake lead. It will be that Infernal Rift, which is a very, very scary with all the damage on Taco Gaming side.
Citywitty found a pocket in Vision.
Yep, does have the dredge line away from Pluto. Citywitty continuing to aggress here in the bottom lane. Ariandel with the Ignite will not be able to join the fray. Instead, they will look to target Iacur, who no longer has that event horizon. It is all too easy as Actor secures the kill.
Yeah, and like I say, unless it's a freebie, they're not too happy to go mid lane, likely.
Still going. Oh, Ariandel is in time with the hero's entrance. He's going to get a huge 3-man knockup. Now, can they get the taunt? Can they do enough damage? They take down Pluto first. Gorka is able to cleanse away from the Ignite and will able to flash away to safety. Tomato now just under so much pressure. The end of the line will secure the deal. 2 dead on Supernova. Will it be a third? Ariandel will not get a Justice Punch to connect, and the shield keeps Citywitty alive.
Wow, okay. Triple kill for Gorka in the bot lane, putting that Blade of the Ruined King to good use. Eclipse.
Oh, Actor doesn't have that ulti anymore. Is it enough damage? Big damage coming out from Actor, but it is not enough. Eclipse wins out on the 1v1.
Yeah, holding the hammer smash there just until the very end. We got a replay of that bot lane exchange, I believe. I mean, this is a good point to point out afterwards, something about Citywitty's build path, but they go for this re-engage here on the back of Tomato just standing a little too far forward. They get the kill in the mid lane, and then immediately we see Ariandel beeline at bot lane, right? They go for this knock-up, and Justice Punch just barely gets flashed away from. Gorka this entire time shreds through Pluto and almost gets taken down. One more auto attack may have done the job, but it wasn't quite enough. And then the artilleries from downtown are enough to chip away at the Supernova health bar. And we've got to see it right there. The gold drinker from Citywitty. He's adapted to the build path. He's adapted his build path once again. He's up against a team comp that wants to dive, Grapes. The bigger the dive, the more people in his face, the better that heal. Godrink can get a lot of value this game.
Yeah, this is something that has definitely risen in priority. Wasn't used by Actor in that last game, as he just wanted to snowball, build the Eclipse, do as much damage as possible. But in a more defensive setup, which just seemed to be Citywitty's style of choice, the Gore Drinker makes a lot of sense. Also has a Hex Drinker as well to get out from some of the damage that Meslo and Ariandel will be able to provide. And can we just mention, Rude, that this is now 7 kills on Gorka on the Kog'Maw?
Yeah, he's
Might
up
be
now,
8.
unfortunately.
Now 8, 7 kills.
Yeah, I was
stealing away another.
I was always clutching at straws, trying to keep that positive for Gorica.
It's not going to be that for long.
No, it's already gone negative, I think, with 3 from passive, 4 from, living. So at this point, I don't expect it to go too far in the opposite direction. We already touched on how unlikely they are to get kills in the first place. Meslo, not in trouble. He's fine.
Actor might be around here as well. Meslo is getting pressured out. Double buffs on Eclipse do mean a whole lot. He was able to take down Actor in that exchange. We'll see what happens here in the 1v1. Meslo does have the ulti, and now popping the Ghost wants to continue the chase. Eclipse taking a whole lot of damage. The Snip Stips will come through, and that is the 1v1 over to the Gwen.
Yeah, little missteps there from Eclipse. He's a minion as he's just stepped out of Meslo's immunity range. And then also doesn't quite get the speed up on his gates. Now, here comes Sidiwidi. Has got Hex Drinker and that Gore Drinker.
Oh, it's so awkward right now for Meslo. So many members collapsing, but it looks like Supernova want to turn this. Here comes Ariandel, going to try to zone off the rest of the Taco Gaming squad, but they have just too little resources. Meslo falls, so does Ariandel, a double kill onto the Graves.
Oh, that is so satisfying for Sidiwidi. He reloads and both of the members that are there are like 2 HP. He just auto-attacks once on either cartridge and he's like, well, I'll take 2 kills. Thank you very much. Don't mind if I do. Gets those in his back pocket. And, I was kind of interested as to how the Graves versus Gwen interaction was going to go. It turns out Sidiwidi just burns the Gwen W and walked away. Was like, oh, okay, well, cool. Bought enough time for the rest of the team and then was able to use the collapse of 3 members to get those kills. Taco Gaming up about 4k gold thus far. It's been a game with a lot of scraps. It's important to take stock of who's been coming out on top of those. For the most part, has been Taco Gaming. They have this lead in the game. The map coverage as well, much more beneficial to them. It's still only 2 turrets to 1, but just the way that the game is broken down, where those turrets are and where the dragons are as well, largely in favor of Taco Gaming.
Yeah, this was the stage in the game where Supernova had an 8,000 gold lead in game number 1, and it still didn't really work out for them. Now, scaling still is here on Taco Gaming. You can see the gold graph now on the opposite side, towards the TG side. And things are just looking better and better for them as we continue to go forward in this series. Eclipse will take down this tower as well. And the punish be here, though. Ariandel is a little bit out of position, potentially. Lands the Everfrost into the taunt. A nice hook coming in from Pluto as well. Actor finally arriving, and it looks like Ariandel bought enough time for Actor to secure the kill.
Did you want to play League of Legends today, Eclipse?
No.
Sorry, we have 7 seconds of CC for you. Have a nice time. Now, this does again come at a trade. Soul Point is currently being taken by Sidiwidi, Gorica, and Robix, you can see. Trying to take this tier 2. I don't know that they'll be able to get away with it here. Maybe a little greedy to stick for. Yeah, there's just enough wave clear to get rid of those minions.
Ikura might be out of position a little bit. Force flash away. Meslo does have that needlework again, so he will try to chase down this flash. So Veigar does pop the stopwatch. Now Gorica and Robux are here. Robux is able to chunk him up with the wild growth, but Ikura will still fall. Nice Lamb's Respite from Actor. Jumps out of it though, and Gorica picks up the kill. Barely out of position Actor was, and he will pay for his sins. Meslo forced to run for the hills as well.
Oh, disaster for Actor. He can't step out of the Lamb's Respite. Gorica willing to DPS and take down, and now this death squad of Cog Lulu have reached ascendancy. 2 items already on them. Now they're going for more.
Trying to fight here. Meslo does a lot of damage here, but without that W, Gwen is no longer immune. Gorica unstoppable.
Wow, and yeah, when you don't have that Hallowed Shroud, you're just going to get taken out. Gorica more than happily able to just sit back, absorb the damage to begin with, and take down the carry afterwards. Looking now to break open an inhibitor turret, Grapes. 19 minutes and 40 seconds into this game, and Taco Gaming have got it.
They're going to take it down. I don't know if they will go for the inhibitor here. Actor has respawned. Ariandel looking for a flank as well. Ariandel was not in that last fight. Ended up taking the top lane inner turret as the trade. So a little bit of extra gold into the pockets of the Galio. Is working towards that second item, Zanya's Hourglass, but things looking pretty good for Taco Gaming, breaking open the base 20 minutes into the game. Also, can I just mention Sidiwidi with the Randuin's Omen. This is a Jarvan build. He's like building on the wrong champion. Seems to be working pretty well though, as Pluto is going to get punished again.
Yeah, caught out of position. And I'm pretty sure at this point that Sidiwidi just picks up, his first mythic item, maybe a second defensive item, and then just searches own builds. Like, this is all that I seem to see is ahead, behind, give me defensive stats, and I'll be able to take over.
Oh man, it's very impressive the way that he's still able to do so much damage while building so defensively, and that's just due to the advantages that City has been able to create. Barrett started up 20 minutes into this game, and I think Taco Gaming are going to get it.
Yeah, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. With nobody contesting, Taco Gaming in large control of the Baron Pit, they take it without a doubt, and Meslo will likely get a tier 1 turret here. It's going to be split between both himself and Tomato. But that's of little consequence, of little solace really to the Supernova team. They get themselves an objective bounty, sure, and they might be able to take away the blue, but I don't think it's up in time by any means. So with this Baron now, the question is, what can Taco Gaming get from it? Because they've got the means to just go and take a mid lane inhibitor for free. They don't have to do the hard work on a turret. And then they've got 2 turrets in the top lane, that 1 inhibitor turret in the bot side as well to try and go for.
Lot of avenues for Taco Gaming to look. Actor trying to go here in onto the cliffs. Had the support of Ariandel, but now here comes the teleport from Ayakura. Actor now trapped into the event horizon, forced to pop the Lamb's Respite. Ayakura will likely go down here, but not before taking one down. And here comes the collapse. Here comes the rest of Taco Gaming. Meslo, the last survivor on this side of the fight, and with the ghost might be able to run away, but the rest of Taco are surely to push down bottom.
Yeah, they've got 2 waves coming. They had the one that was able to survive, and then a secondary one coming through as well. Tomato, I don't think anything if you do get back to base, but just being there is probably better than trying to hit away on this mid lane tier 1. Here goes Taco Gaming now with their sort of charge on what could be the game. I feel like it's just an inhib 10 seconds, and they had to come all the way from bot lane. So this should be an inhibitor, should be both of them, but they could look to push for end here. If Tomato shows mid, this could be very dangerous.
The respawns are coming through. Tomato still crucially in mid lane right now. Taco Gaming looking to press in onto the second hitter. Gorka is face tanking and takes down Actor. This is the tank Kog'maw. Oh my goodness, so much damage, so much durability.
Triple.
Gorka has been officially unlocked here in this game. A triple kill. Could be more as well. Ariandel in a lot of trouble. Citywitty going to dash forward. Tomato and the Galio underneath the fountain. They don't want to go for it just yet. Gorka could tank a little bit more. That's an unofficial quadra kill for the Kog'Maw, and the aggression for Supernova was good. But did you ever have the doubt? Did you remember what day of the week it was? It is Taco Tuesday, and Taco Gaming take their first win of the group stage.
Look at Citywitty. He's just sat getting wailed on in my auto attacks. He doesn't care.
All too dominant.
Randuin's
clean. Are they going to go for more? This game's still not over yet. I did my whole like end of series line. Meslo actually looking forward here with the needlework. Ayakura goes down, and Taco Gaming might have BM'd a little bit too hard. They still need to end the game. Gorka does so much damage, face tanking Meslo, and still winning out on the 1v1. And Pluto definitely will not secure another kill. 17 kills onto the Kog'Maw, and they're just looking to pad the stats. They're looking to increase the KDA. Citywitty godlike. There's Gorka chasing down Ariandel. One more auto will land. Legendary now on the Kog'Maw officially. 30-12, 24 minutes. Taco Gaming 2-0.
Yeah, Gorka really wanted that pentakill so much that they waited for the respawns to come through off of the initial unofficial quadra kill. But Taco Gaming got the single game kill record.
Congratulations, Gorka.
But did he get the single game kill record while alive?
That's the thing. Do we subtract 3 from it because it was just the past?
Hey,
that's not fair. If you die
we should
and
give
then
it
the ignite ticks and then you get the kill, it still counts as a kill, right?
Also true. And, you know, he's making the full use of the kit, right? That's the goal of Kog'Maw in most cases. You get the passive procs as well. Honestly, you should get double points or double the kills for every kill you get with your passive as Kog'Maw.
We talked a lot about how Citywitty was kind of the main player that Taco Gaming was playing around. And how, you know, Gorka often went for the weak side throughout the open qualifiers. But this time, I think Gorka reminded everybody just how good he was last year, the year before, whether on Academy, on top-tier amateur teams, and now right back again on another one, picking up the Kog'Maw in this game, picking up the Vayne in game number 1, and truly showing that he still has got what it takes.
Yeah, it's a great reminder, isn't it? The Academy talent tends to be pretty good, and even though in an amateur, you know, we're expecting to be people seeing promoted and people challenging to get up into that higher
what does this
higher
mean?
Level. Kog'Maw yeah, I mean it's just the passive, right? Kog'Maw after being killed.
I'm just so impressed at how hyper production, how they're able to get that on the screen
Immediately.
Just like
it's just Kog'maw passive goes off once, immediately just furiously types into Google Kog'Maw memes, and we just see them pop up randomly in front of us. It's worth it. It is worth a shout out because, like we said, getting Kog'Maw passive kills very, very difficult. Difficult's the word.
Yeah, and was able to get the kills while alive as well. Your number of like the 50-50 definitely started to skew a little bit out of your control as the game continued to progress. But really good stuff, again, coming out from Taco Gaming. They will have their matchup here with Evil Genius's Prodigies in the matchup next week. Definitely going to be a very, very exciting one.
It is. With the two teams rather, going to be at the top of that bracket. Winner gets to go through to the knockout stages then of the Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier number one, and then they obviously loser has to play a bit of a grudge match. Could very well be a rematch of one of today's games as well in that day.
Yeah, and for Supernova, you know, they came in with a game plan. They had the early game aggression, really fun to watch, really fun to cast, kind of that LPL style that we don't necessarily see a lot out of North American teams. And I'm really excited to see this team, you know, moving forward. It looks like they will have AoE randoms in this next matchup here in the lower bracket. Going to try to make their way back up and rematch or play against EGP if Taco Gaming end up winning. So excited to see them continue to grow as well. Again, this is a young team, the system just starting to fill in.
Yeah, exactly. And they obviously Supernova had indexed heavily onto people that wanted to, you know, build that Supernova brand up, and I think that they did a great job tonight.
Yeah, definitely so, and we'll see more of them, but for now, have to congratulate Taco Gaming once again on their victory. That's all for us here on the Caster Desk Route. It was a pleasure to cover these games alongside you. Gonna send it to a short break before Hawk has an interview with the winners.
And we are back here with another interview with the victorious support of Taco Gaming. Rovex, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. Very, very, very okay.
Just okay after that win.
Yeah, it was a two. The first game got me nervous. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't a good draft. We played for like 40 minutes, and then the second game was a lot faster than that. So I'm okay.
That's fair. I mean, and that actually brings me right into that my first question, which was that first game was maybe not according to plan. I think it's fair to say you guys were actually down 10,000 gold in the mid game. What sort of kept you guys going to bring it back and team fight so well and not, you know, mental boom, to be honest?
I don't like. There's some insane copium going on. Like first game draft, you know, you work together, your team, but it was everyone pick a carry challenge. Everyone pick late game, and the moment the topside stuff happened, we couldn't play bot. No one could play. We're just trying to accept our fate in peace, but then I think they threw a couple times, and hey, we hit 2 items, and our team's just too OP. Like we're gonna win eventually.
Yeah, I mean, hey, late game Lulu, generally a force to be reckoned with. Was it your choice to be put on Lulu duty for 2 games this series, or were you hoping for some more spicy playmaking options?
Dude, I've been preaching enchanters for like 10 years now. Like literally, I came out of the womb. I said, guys, Moonstone is the most OP item in the game. You know, this is free information, free coaching. I should be charging every team that listens to this interview. Moonstone's OP. Stop picking engaged supports. Hey, I mean, I did absolutely nothing. I think the way bot turned out, we got map split on a few times, so you don't really get to see the lane dominance in bot lane. But hey, Lulu's OP. I didn't even get to do anything, and you just scale, press W, press E, chill, and win the game.
Yeah, fair enough. As long as I can get a cut for being the interviewer, I am fully subscribing to this charging for information idea. But I did get some word, you know, we have Shogo as our guest on the desk today, and he said that you guys were roommates at one point. Any fun stories maybe about Shogo that you can share? Family friendly, of course.
Family friendly. I think this is family friendly. 311B, Miller Hall, Columbia College. Every morning, we would cuddle. We would just cuddle. Like it wasn't like a relationship. It wasn't like a relationship. I mean, me and him were really close. I hate to do you dirty, Gil, but I will never forget. There was one time we were cuddling. I got my hands on his knees, or he's on his phone. I'm on my phone. Guy rips a fart. He farted on me while we were cuddling.
There's no other way to ruin the moment.
Yeah, I mean that was probably like the worst experience I had with him. There's things that's family friendly. There's other stuff, but I can't say that.
All right. Well, very, very cute. Thank you so much, Ropex, for joining me. Congratulations again on your awesome win today, and we look forward to seeing you play in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I can't believe.
And we are back one more time here on the Analyst desk to break down everything you saw in this game. You know, it got a little shaky. Taco Tuesday was in jeopardy, but our 2-0 predictions still ended up working out.
I just gotta say, I think Shogo's mental right now is shaky after that.
I can't. I'm thrown off by this guy. I don't know. Guys goes on an interview and says whatever he wants.
Hey, all I'm saying is you're the one that told me about this, so I
mean, we did have a special bond. I miss Rovex. I always knew he could do well on support. Honestly, like this guy has such good game knowledge that his skills will definitely transfer from mid lane to support. And we're good friends, so I'm really happy he won. And I got to scout Gorica for our CLO match next weekend. And yeah, really exciting series.
Yeah, and Shogo is like doubly happy as well. Throughout that game, you know, here on the Analyst desk we're sitting, Shogo's telling us like, I trained that boy. I trained that boy. 0028, Lulu, perfect Lulu. I trained him.
I'll take credit for that after that interview. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it paid off. I mean, clearly there was something going right there. The Lulu technology, I mean, I asked him about it. Rovex clearly thinks it's really good and absolutely popped off. And you love to see that. I mean, what a great, I think, better game 2, especially from Taco Gaming. As we say, game 1, a little shaky, but game 2 was, I don't want to say clean, but much more one-sided at the very least. And it sort of, you know, was an explosive early game again, but come the mid game, it seems like they had it more under control, Shogo.
Yeah, it seemed like Taco was just a better team fighting team, and they knew that if they play for scaling, they're just going to be able to make the comeback, even if they do fall behind a little bit in the early game. So game 1 was a little bit more messy, but I think game 2, they knew throughout the whole game that they still had it under control.
Right, and we can see in this first replay one of the crazy sort of moments where Taco Gaming, it sort of turned out that they were starting to get control. It starts touch and go, but it gets better. RMC, break this down for us.
Yeah, so the focus wasn't so much on this mid lane part. It's the bot side, which is kind of scary to watch because we know Kog'Maw Lulu is incredibly strong on this patch, and this is kind of why, right? The fact that if you don't kill Gorica right away, yeah, he's just going to rip you apart. And even if you do kill him, we saw the Akathian surprise pop off multiple times. Now, City Witty as well played it really, really well on that initial engage. This is where I praise Rovex a lot. Even last split on this Lulu on the Tom Ken just absolutely massive. That shield right there, clutch. If he doesn't shield right there, if he wasn't shielding throughout, Gorica goes down earlier if they don't win that fight. If you lose City Witty on the back end of it, it's not quite as good, and you don't get quite as good a shove after that as well. So huge props to this team. Really, all parts of this Taco Gaming squad starting to pop off, starting to pop together as well.
Yeah, it's Lulu Diff right there. The shield coming through and saving them. And yeah, Taco Gaming. Would you say that they constructed the perfect Taco with this composition, and that's why this game was cleaner? Or maybe they just executed on it better, RMC?
I would say, in the words of Shogo, this Taco did not have holes. It was a much better shell this time.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. And of course, they ended up closing the game out relatively cleanly once they got a big lead. So if we pull up our second replay, it basically was the fight that started the doomsday clock. Shogo, walk us through what happened.
Yeah, so pretty much this fight, we just see how incredibly strong the Kog'Maw Lulu duo is. So this starts off with this 1v1. And this phase rush by Jace, like, he just runs at the speed of light and just zooms out of there. And then this TP forces Actor to use the Kindred ult. So now that tool is down, Kog'Maw gets to sweep in and just clean up the rest of the members for Supernova.
Yeah, I mean, super clean stuff. Really great team fighting from Taco Gaming. It feels like they had team fighting down pat throughout the entire series. You know, early game, maybe a point of focus, but clearly this team is a force to be reckoned with in team fights. And speaking of a force to be reckoned with in team fights, their opponent next week will, of course, be Evil Geniuses Prodigies, a team that we saw fight so cleanly for the first 2 games on this stream. And I don't want to go too far into it, but maybe early thoughts, Shogo, on that series?
For next week?
Yeah.
It depends on what day. Depends on what day of the week that is. If it's a Tuesday,
True.
if
That's
it's a
the only
Tuesday, I'm
answer.
yeah. If it's a Tuesday, I'm praying for EGP, but I think it'll be a really close match. I'm hoping for a 3-game series, and yeah, both teams looked really, really good today.
Yeah. Hey, that's the only answer. If it's on a Tuesday, Taco Gaming, they're probably just invincible. But hey, if it's on a Monday, EGP, they're gonna be feeling pretty good. Well, we've made it to the end. 2 sweeps. However, I would say not the most one-sided sweeps that we've had so far. And I mean, what a journey it has been. And I want to just say real quick, Gorka tied in this last game the PGCQ kill record as well with 18 in this game. So shout out Gorka for that awesome performance. We've got a record-setting day. We had a great day as well. If we do pull up some of the results throughout the day, of course, first stream, it was EGP 2-0. Second stream, Taco Gaming 2-0. Over on Path to LCS stream, it was AOE that took a 2-1 victory. And I believe TBA is currently up 1-0 in their series. So
The UST boys, we believe in them. They'll get it.
I mean, with the stuff they're playing, it's definitely spicy to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And now, you know, with all that out of the way, maybe the caster predictions, we can see how well they did. I mean, we did, or at least I did well in my predictions. I'm not going to say we because of the first one, but
Whoa.
I had to flame you guys a little bit. No, seems like though we're all in agreement. But if TBA ends up pulling out the win, that might put a damper on the caster predictions here.
Big brain beatdown, man. I mean, he's done it before. Maybe he'll do it again. He's the only one who voted TBA there.
Yeah, but he's still down on the Supernova Taco Gaming.
True.
So at
Yeah.
best, he just ties the score.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually, yeah, we'll see if he is big brain beatdown. That would be really impressive. I feel like there's got to be something that feels really good about being the only person to predict something. That would be pretty awesome. But one last update that we have to get through. Y'all, we did not get bingo. Again, we have like 4 in many rows, but we didn't do it. Taco Tuesday, they got the sweep, so that puts us at a lot of X's and no 5 in a rows.
You know what? I kind of want to blame this a little bit on Mia that we didn't get the non-marksman bot. Come on, Mia. We believed in you.
We did make that square for Mia, for the record. So just saying, you know, anyone could have done it, but it is a fact. We did make it for Mia, but yeah, we didn't get bingo. Over 4 series of League, so many things crossed off. But honestly, RNG kind of screwing us too. We got so many boxes checked off, and yet none of them lined up in the randomizer for us. But I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles, or the taco shell crumbles. Taco Tuesday. But as we look forward, of course, this was just the first round of the group stage. We have pretty much all of the seedings locked in for the next round of matches. So as we look ahead to day 3, which will be next Monday, will be in June. Make sure we tune into those games as well. Monday and Tuesday every week. It will be a really fun time here at Academy, here on Path to LCS. Keeping up with the amateur scene and seeing who will be the teams that will rise up to Proving Grounds this summer. But Shogo, thank you so much for joining us on the desk. I mean, you were absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so much insight, of course. RMC, you were an absolutely amazing analyst, being with me all day as well. You guys absolutely smurfed it. It's been fun for me. I've been Hawk. Before we go, want to just mention our sponsors, Atlantic, HyperX, and BenQ Zowie. Thank you all so much for allowing us to do what we do and make it look so pretty and so nice. But that's it. That's the end of the show. We've made it this far. It's been a great Taco Tuesday. Thank you to everyone for watching and tuning in. And make sure to tune in next week. I've been Hawk. Have a nice night.